We break your day on EKTV Daybreak Nigeria with inclusive information, news without prejudice, well-articulated reportage, in-depth news analysis, newspaper highlights, business news, sports. Watch EKTV Daybreak Nigeria from 8 to 10 in the morning, Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. EKTV Daybreak Nigeria, your agenda-setting program.
All right, here we are on the second discussion segment of Daybreak Nigeria, and on this very segment, we'll be talking about, open governance. There's a fiscal transparency towards boosting quality delivery in governance, and we have a development worker with us in the studio, Mr. Nelson Akirele. You're welcome on Daybreak Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you've been here once, and this is your second coming.
Yeah.
And at that time, we talked about all what development workers have been doing to ensure open governance in Ekiti State. And the sharing news is that the state, Ekiti, has just been rated as number 2 in Nigeria, talking about open governance, transparency, and all of that. So how did the state get to this level?
Thank you so much, sir, and good morning, everyone at home. It's a pleasure to be back on the program again, and I think for me it's an exciting one because the other day it was like an abstract discussion when we were saying, oh, we are working, we are supporting government is working. But today I have come with 2 outstanding track record that it's not just Ekiti-based news, but national news that has rated Ekiti well in fiscal transparency, integrity, and accountability. The first one being a report that I would like to show on the screen. This report was launched just on the 23rd of September 2020 in Abuja by PPDC, Private Development Center in Abuja, with the support of MacArthur Foundation.
Okay, the umbrella body for NGOs.
Yeah, really. that work on procurement governance in Nigeria.
Okay.
So this report actually x-rayed the country, but with spotlight on about 4 states of our own Ekiti State, Kaduna State, Akwa Ibom, and I think Anambra State. Given the content of this report, which was not produced by Ekiti-based organization, Ekiti was rated excellently well. That is just on the 23rd of September 2020. I was in Abuja for this program and a couple of representatives from Ekiti State. And the other outstanding one, if we are saying this is PPDC, another one just came out 2 days ago on the 28th of September. Another report launched in Abuja by Center for Fiscal Transparency in Nigeria that rated Ekiti second in the entire country. Of course, where you have the best, you will have the least. So I wouldn't want to talk about the least because that's not where we are going. Our own state had a excellent mark of 73%, a little behind Kaduna State, which had 76%. And in that report, we had state government that had about 20%. That tells you the evidence of the work of both the government, development partners, and even state actors. And when I mean state actors, I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about procurement actors like the Bureau of Public Procurement. I'm talking about even the contractor for complying, because indicators that comes to some of these reports are not just from one side. They are from both what the government puts in place, like legal framework, legal structures, moving on to the implementation of those legal framework, and onto the compliance by respective users of those policy documents or legal framework. And of course, we will not, no one will do a research of such nature without checking on what is the knowledge of the citizens. And that is where we come in. Enlightenment, sensitization like what EKTV is doing right now. We ensure that the public are in tune with what the government is doing. And let me say this, aside from all those external reports, while we were in Abuja on the 23rd of September, the representative of the DG of Bureau of Public Procurement in Ekiti said in 2020, Ekiti State saved about 20 billion naira as a result of the implementation of our new procurement policies.
Okay.
And that is a huge thumb up for the state. Saving 20 billion naira, which could have gone down the drain because of mismanagement, is simply telling us that we are doing well. But let me quickly put this to it, that saving 20 billion naira may not be just the big news. We have to get that 20 billion to keep reducing gradually. That will mean that everybody is now complying and that we now have openness in our procurement work. That is what we're actually looking forward to. I know there will still be time to keep talking about where do we go from here. But let me say that generally, both at the national front, at the international front, because let me remember to say another big good news, that Ekiti State was the only African state that got a grant for open procurement in the world. I think about 7 countries got the grant. Ekiti State was one of such countries, such states in a country, and the only state in Africa that got that grant. So that tells us that we are not just cooking stories, we are giving evidences of the work we are doing, and we hope this good news keeps coming.
Okay, before we go for that, Bisi, we'd like to go on a short break now and continue thereafter. Please stay tuned.
Break Nigeria from EKTV, heartbeat of the Southwest. We break your day on EKTV Daybreak Nigeria with inclusive information, news without prejudice, well-articulated reportage, in-depth news analysis, newspaper highlights, business news, sports. Watch EKTV Daybreak Nigeria from 8 to 10 in the morning, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. EKTV Daybreak Nigeria, your agenda-setting program.
Okay, you're welcome back. We now continue with our conversation as we have been just joined by another NGO partner, development worker, yes, in Ekiti State, Ms. Fumi Jemiriye. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bisi, can we?
Yes, sir, thank you very much. And I just want us to make this issue simpler on the program this morning so that people
can really understand.
Will be able to really understand what we are saying. What exactly is this fiscal transparency? What's it all about?
Okay, before my colleague respond, let me quickly say that in a very down-to-heart language, fiscal transparency is about how the government buys and sells. Now, when I mean buys, an average woman who goes to the market to buy something, in our own program language, we call it procurement.
All right.
You procure, you acquire it, but you get some things in exchange. You pay for it. So, fiscal transparency procurement is about how the government gets people work for the government, pay the people, ensure that the work is actually in tandem,
it's commensurate.
Yes, is as good as what they said they will deliver. So, for example, if I say I will deliver onto the government a 10-page booklet, I should not come back to deliver 5 pages and say, oh, I didn't know, I thought 5 pages would be okay. So if I would change the content or the number of pages, there is a process to follow. So when we're talking about procurement, fiscal transparency, accountability, we are saying the government wants to buy something, the government is ready to pay for it, the government should follow a process to buy that particular thing, and the people should be aware of how the government spends the people's money. So, as I pause, let me say that every money in the custody of the government is people's money. Every money. So, whenever such money is going to be expended on anything at all, anything, the people should participate. That's where the fiscal transparency comes in. Being open, being inclusive. The people will say, okay, we need a bowl, we need toilet, we need this and that. The government will now say, okay, contractor A and B, come and do this for us. This is how much we will pay. This is the process, and so on and so forth. So it's as simple as buying and selling.
Okay, Mrs. Jeremy, apart from what my guest on the program has said this morning, talking about procurement, I think it still goes along with government raising taxes and raising revenues and so on and so forth. What's your take apart from procurement?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
And let me use this opportunity to say good morning to everybody in the house and outside there. It's nice being with you today. Sir, it's not just about government, raising taxes, bringing in money, like my colleague, Mr. Nelson, is trying to explain. People out there, they're interested in how the money has been spent.
Okay.
And that is what is bringing us back to fiscal responsibility. Because when you actually collect money from people, they have a right to ask you, what have you done with our money? And when you're talking about communication, you ask them, as you're taking money from them, what do you want me to do for you? That is why you have the upper hand as the governance now, and they'll tell you, for example, we need good water. So you say, okay, for me to give you good water, it will cost us like maybe 10 million naira. And the next question will be, how do we get 10 million naira? All right. So you people will donate, put together work from your earnings and everything, put together 8 million naira. That is what we, the public, will call taxes, And then after we put down the 8 million, we expect that the governor, from whatever means, will look for the balance. And then we expect him to come back in within, a specific time to tell us, this is the water you ask for. So that is my understanding about public paying taxes and government or people in governance providing them. But there is a link, and that is where we come in. That some people are to ensure that, okay, Part A said we need so. Part B said, don't worry, I'll do that for you. Are they really doing it? Is there truthfulness on both sides? Are people actually acting the responsibility they said they will give?
Okay, that question should be answered by you, because before you came, we've been exchanging, views with your colleague, and that brought us to the issue that Ekiti has been rated number 2 in Nigeria, talking about transparency and open governance.
That's true.
Yes. So, how did you come about this? Is it not that you just manipulated the reports that you wrote to to the assessors? Or it's, because it said reports come from different...
Yes, thank you very much, Tuji. It's not possible to just manufacture figures, because the process as laid down by PPDC, there will be some people that will be taken from NGOs, from CSOs, from community, even people that you think, the communities that are not from Ado. And when I say Ado, I mean the capital, where there's the searchlight is constantly beamed. They go to all the crannies of the state, they pick people, and they ask them, what was it you said you wanted from the government? And it was quite interesting when I got to know about these people that a lot of people don't even know what they ask for. But the government, on their own part, did a very good job. And you know what they did? They had a portal. It's on the internet. Everything the community had asked for that had been approved is there. But people don't even know. That information is very open. So PPDC showed the light to them that, okay, this is a paper we're given from the government that you asked for so. And they said, yes, we did. All right. Now, let us go to the feed. Let us go and see. Are you aware that this thing has been given to a contractor? Most of them said they don't know. Okay, let's go to the portal, which was open anyway. So they browsed it, they saw the information, they went to the site. And one of the conditions on the site was that there should be a billboard advertising the name of the contractor, his address, year of contract, and all that.
The project and all of that.
These people are, they are not part of the process from the beginning. They're not Ministry of Procurement agents. They're not government officers. They're just community people. And they're innocent, bystander, third party. So when they got there, they were able to see, and PPDC demanded that they should come back with pictures. They should even come back with people, the beneficiaries, some contractors who were willing to come and defend their job. And they had an open meeting. Sent invitation to everybody, government officials, everybody interested. They come and listen, come and see. At the end of the day, the report was compiled and Ekiti came second for transparency, for hard work, and for doing what this
That's
should do.
quite interesting. So, Mr. Nancy Akerele, how can we improve on this? Because I know the state is targeting number one. What are the areas of improvement?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think my colleague had explained some of the processes that led to this report. And let me say again that to listeners at home, not just PPDC, I just told you that another report was launched 2 days ago by Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch in Abuja. The first one was on the 23rd of September, which I showed you the report on screen. It was launched also in Abuja. So that tells you that just like the Yoruba we say, if the blacksmith eats the iron on one spot and is coming out that way, there is something to be pulled out. So when different organizations, different institutions are coming up with reports and we are moving around the same results, I think we should really pat ourselves at the back. That said, things to do going forward to ensure that we maintain not just the second position, the number one position. And by the way, my own major concern and view is that we should have many states in the number one. There is something they call tie. So I look forward to a country, a Nigerian country, that we have states that will compete for number one, like 10 of them in number one position. But for my own dear Ekiti State, number one, we need to begin to look beyond one governance circle. How do I mean? We have attributed some of these successes to the great political will that we have from the government, which is led by the governor himself, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi. We want to see a success beyond this administration. That is what I'm saying. As development worker, I'm not a government person. I'm civil society, so I can speak the mind of the people. So we are asking concerned agencies, particularly the government agencies, to begin to look at how we can sustain this work. Because we wouldn't want to be number two positively this year. And sometimes 2 years to come, we are number two negatively behind the ladder. I mean below the ladder. We don't want that. So how do we ensure sustainability is what we should begin to talk about. 3 tips. Number 1, let all government actors begin to institutionalize some of these things and comply fully. If you are told to send email before you initiate a process, please do. All of these things are what assessors will check when they come. Number 2, the legislators should provide the needed support, including funding provision, to operate some of these policies. And number 3, people. We should demand for the government to do the right thing. Whichever government is there, the people should be ready to demand that the government of the day at every point in time begin to do the right thing. And we will maintain this number 1 or number 2 position, but number 1. Then the other thing is that as much as we have many plus and many successes, there is still something that was flagged in Abuja while we were there. Freedom of Information Law has been signed in Ekiti State since 2011. But till today, the implementation is still staggering. Sincerely, and I know that is not strange to media professionals. We need some of these things, like I've said earlier, cumulates to the successes we are seeing. So that aspect of full implementation of the Freedom of Information Law should be looked into by the government, and deliberate policy statements by the government should be in place to ensure that there is full implementation and compliance.
All right, before we go on the program this morning, Mrs. Jemiri, let's just talk about we're talking about the gains now, but let's talk about the importance, the benefits that government can derive from fiscal responsibility and even the people.
Within 1 minute.
Thank you very much. You see, the government, one advantage that the government can derive from this project, like my colleague has said, is that it gives them thumbs up. It shows they're working, and it shows it's a good government, so to say. And, but for the people, the plus and the advantage that we have to look forward to is the sustainability of this project. He was talking about Freedom of Information Act. A lot of us don't use it. As public, as the governed, we have a right to know what is going on in the government. We have a right to know that, look, are we being given what we deserve? And that is what all this is all about. No, we're fast to condemn governments. We're fast to say they're bad, they're this, they're that. But are we doing our part? And that is one major advantage from the whole exercise. Showing people their right. And the moment the people know their right, the government sit up. They do what is expected of them.
Okay, thank you. And congratulations to you. Congratulations to Ekiti State Government and the people as well. Yes, dear viewers, this is the destination point on the second discussion segment of Daybreak Nigeria. Let me appreciate the coming of our guests, Mr. Jemiri. Thank you for coming. And Mr. Nelson Akirele. You're welcome. Both are development workers in Ekiti State. Yes, Daybreak Nigeria continues after this timeout with newspaper highlights. Please stay tuned.
Daybreak Nigeria from EKTV in the heartbeat of the Southwest. We break your day on EKTV Daybreak Nigeria with inclusive information, news without prejudice, well-articulated reportage, in-depth news analysis, newspaper highlights, business news, sports. Watch EKTV Daybreak Nigeria from 8 to 10 in the morning, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. EKTV Daybreak Nigeria, your agenda-setting program.